Bob, do you know what? I forgot that was a collage, a 2-minute collage of the intros that I made. So I thought, what better start that quick? How we doing? Welcome back, ladies
Love
and
it.
gentlemen, beautiful
Love
human
it.
beings. Rox, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm not going to say anything, touch wood, but I'm very happy to be here. I don't think I'm lagging, Rich. I don't think my picture and sound is almost moving along swiftly. Moving along swiftly.
It's all good. It's all good, man. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we just come back to have a little, make sure that everything's cool before our pretty exciting live stream this evening with Bart Sibrel and John Hyams. Um, and we just come on to have a little chin wag, don't we? Really, a little just to make sure everything's working right. And Roxanne's coming from an undisclosed location.
We wanted a little bit of a test run, didn't we? With for comparison's sake for later on, because we know what things are like normally when we go live. We're grabbled, and we just wanted to see if, within retrospect, it was going to be all right. So
We can make a little comparison. I'm just going to put my earphones in. Hang on a sec, because I think you're getting a little bit of echo.
Shout out to everyone in the chat room. Just realised I was on mute there. Shout out to Andrea and Robert Humphrey and William Leafy. How you all doing? A little bit of an impromptu live from us today, as we have got quite a big show later on lined up. And as you all know, I've been fraught with issues really going on the internet and trying to do live streams recently. So yeah, we thought a little bit of an impromptu live, have a little catch up. I really would love to just give a little public recap on last night's show. Absolutely,
Yeah, cool.
Massive shout out to Sarah. Absolutely
Yes,
brilliant. So much usable
definitely.
information in the show last night. It was a real pick and mix, a Woolworths pick and mix of truths. I love it.
Yeah, it was good. It definitely good. And the great thing is that there's going to be so much more to come, man. So much more to come. Sarah's got so much good information to sift through, and just what we want to do, man. It's gonna we don't even know what's going to happen because it's just going to branch out organically into this beautiful thing.
Properly. So later on, as some of you may know, if you were watching last night, we were talking about what we're going to be talking about and who with later on. So yeah, if any of you do have any questions regarding it, can we give a little bit of a prelim? Can we do a little sharey, screeny? For anyone that's watching right now and they're like, right, I kind of gauge what we're just talking about. I think I heard about what you're talking about. But just as a visual, for people to just familiarize themselves with the topic of really this groundbreaking future trending game. Can I say game? Am I allowed to say game? Am I allowed to even say that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's basically. Can you see this?
No, can't see that. No.
It stopped
On
doing
screen
this thing
now.
where you can. You used to be able to swap the tabs. If you're in a different tab, it'd say share this tab instead. It doesn't do that now. Now you have to stop the screen.
Stop it and start it again.
Out and come and start again.
Shout out to Mystery Schooler saying Richie.
Yay! Shout out Mystery Schooler. How you doing?
Nice.
So there we go. This is it. So this is the 7 Interactive channel. Let me just put the link in the chat rooms. Right, this is a 7 Interactive channel. It's our friends, John Hyams and Bart Sibrel, and together they have, well, they've designed this game. It's designed for the phone, really. It's to sit and play on your phone, and I think the most interesting thing. I don't know what I want to what I'm going to ask Bart tonight because he's got such a backstory. John is much more. John's got a YouTube channel. He's a truther. He's a globe denier. uh, and so he's absolutely one of the tribe, and Bart is also a truther, but he's coming from a different angle because he's not a globe denier, and the two of them have come together and designed this game, and it's really I love it, man. It's a bit frustrating when you're playing against the AI, but as a game to play against another human, it's really cool. It's one of those. It's just one of those games that you want to play again because you want to like you want to be able to get you want to throw a good you want that feeling when you throw good dice and you get the good moves and you can lock them in the gates and like you've got the four gates of heaven that you've got to get your angels into. And should we? What do you want to do? Should we have a look at the quick intro?
Really, I think we should do, just to give everyone a little bit of a prelim about really where we're going with this, and obviously familiarize yourself with this because tonight will make a lot more sense to you, even if you've just got 5 or 10 minutes. Just have a quick look. But yeah, please do.
Here we go.
Welcome to the Game 7. In this game you will command 7 angels, who will move in patterns of 7, in order to conquer the 4 gates of heaven. 7 is a 2-player turn-based game, played on a 7x7 board. So without further ado, let's start with the basics of the game.
You see, this is why I'm glad that we've
Right.
told everybody to check it out, because there's a lot to this.
Right, this game, it looked like, so on the face of it, like I would have used a different board. They've got different boards. There's different boards that you can. Oh, camera. There's different boards that you can play, like different designs. They look slightly different, a bit more interesting. There's some boards that look a bit more interesting, and then because the whole idea of the game to make their money back, obviously, it's a free game, but you can buy you can like buy skins effectively, so you can pay for the nice board if you want. There's but yeah, it seems a lot more complicated than it is, and I'm no good with memorizing lots of words, and I'm better at actually playing something and getting the practical experience playing it. That's how I learn the game. So the good thing about it is when you click your piece, basically it shows you where you can go. It shows you all the moves that you can make. I think you can play it so it doesn't do that, but you can play it so it shows you all the moves that you can make. So there is that you don't have to know exactly how the game works to be able to play it and to enjoy playing it as well. Because I didn't even bother reading the rules when I started playing it. I just started playing it. I was in a beta testing, but I mean, they told me basically how to do it, but there's a couple of features in the game that you can use to help you, and I didn't bother. I just worked it out for myself. But it's pretty. It Like I said, it's one of those games that's like, did you ever play Tekken 2? Right? When you're playing your mate and your mate has got the special move and he just keeps his timing on the buttons was just perfect, and you can't get a punch back. You can't get a punch back. It's like, and every time but you have to keep going back to go and beat him, to go and try and beat him. It's like you keep getting beaten, but so you're going to come back and try again, right? That's what it's like with the AI. Playing the artificial intelligence on this game is like that. And there's a one of the sort of, I don't know if it's a feature, I don't know if that's the right word, but basically if you throw 666, 666, you lost. That's it. Straight away, you've lost the whole game. And do you know how many times that's happened to me? I've thrown 666, and it's been like twice it's happened when I've thought, I'm like, oh man, I might actually win. Yes, I'm going to win. 666. What? Are you kidding me? But then I've won. I've actually won twice because the AI's thrown 666. So, but that's the only way I've won playing against that bloody AI is by it throwing 666. I've never actually won it through my gameplay, which is frustrating.
So yeah, it's a little bit of a tickler. Then it's not straightforward at all, is it? It's really not. I like that. I like something with a little bit of a challenge, something that you can't just. It's not a walk in the park. You need something that's a little bit of a challenge, don't you? Shout out to Sarah in the chat room. She says, "Hey, ladies, while working." Shout out to you, my darling.
Hey, babe. And M's Mad World. How you doing, babe? Good to see you.
Lovely.
Floyd Bingo and Shivites.
As always.
And Amaroli B or Amarolo B. So they're from I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but from Hampshire. You're from Hampshire, really? Which part of Hampshire are you from? I was born in Basingstoke.
Shivite says the universe is a symphony. Tesla quote: Lord Krishna playing his flute.
Yeah, and when we say Tesla, we don't mean Elon Musk.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Serious truth. Shout out to you, Floyd Bingo. Lovely to see everyone interacting in the way they are in the chat room. It's a nice place to be, actually, the chat room. Do you know what our chat room reminds me of? It reminds me of when I first started looking at Hangouts online back in 2017, and you went into these really inviting chat rooms where you were amongst like-minded people that were searching for, a lot of the same truths that you'd be in there for.
Before the trolls sort of started.
Yeah.
Before the trolls really started.
Yeah. It's a lovely place to be. As I said, shout out to all of you in the chat room who have, realized that just isolating yourself amongst your friends and family is probably one of the most harmful things you can do when you're waking up. You need to branch out. You need to connect with people that are like-minded. So massive love and respect to you all.
Especially if nobody in your friends or family is like-minded or able to discuss any of these things with you.
Great point. I wanted to say, if any of you use any other social medias like Telegram or Facebook, and you have like groups or stuff on those platforms that you feel might be beneficial to people watching now after, I'm going to put a few links in the description after for homeschooling and stuff like that. But I really want people to use it a bit like a one-stop shop. And if you are aware of things that you feel might be conducive to other people in the chat room, then share. I think in that sense, the community needs that a little bit, a bit more coming together, a bit of wholeness, a bit of oneness.
I think basically, if anybody's got something to offer the community, start. Now's the time, isn't it? Now's the time. So we just got to start. No, but none of us know what to do. Let's just do something. Right, and rather than just really just sitting around and going through information that we're getting off the internet, and getting lost in all the speculation of what's going on. We need to actually start putting these brilliant minds that we've all got to work on how we're going to actually build something different, so we can move away from this farce that we're living in right
now. Perfectly put, Rich. Perfectly put. Em says she's on Telegram. Entire Cosmos. You met me. Me? Who? Me?
You. Well, I haven't been to Greenwich. Am I? I've been here the whole bloody time. So it's you. You got a squeeze in Greenwich.
Oh, see. This is the thing. This is the thing, right? See, when I meet people in real life, it's hard because sometimes people go, "Hello, my name's Emily," and then I can't correlate it's someone from online.
Right, yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, "Hi."
And there's more than one person that you've given a cuddle to as well. Like, look, because everybody, like in our community, I can imagine. I've not actually been to a meetup, but I can imagine
it's a hug fest, bro. It's a hug fest.
I'd be hugging everyone. I'm a hug monster. So
yeah, big time. Massive love to you, my darling entire Cosmos. Manny Silva as well. Serious Truth. Love it. As I said, I just love the vibes in the chat. It's lovely.
Yep. Zenwen.
Love it. Three Fingers. Yeah, go on, Rich. I yield the floor.
Yeah. So tonight, the guest, like John and Bart are on together, but Bart's got quite a big story behind him with what he's done, and so like I don't want the whole conversation tonight to be about what Bart's done, but does anybody, if anybody does have any questions that they want to, anything that they want to ask him, have a think about it, and whack it in an email to wewritereality33 at gmail.com. wewritereality33 at gmail.com. All right. We will do our best to ask.
Yeah, I think that's the way forward. Anyone that wants to get their points of view forward or get questions asked, I think we will invite our guests to do a Q&A. I think a Q&A at the end. I think, Q&A from the listeners and the viewers, and hopefully that'll be something that they're a party to. And honestly, as Rich said, just stick it in an email. For me, I feel like we've got a whole nother show that we need to line up with Bart at a later stage, because I've got 1,000,001 questions. From my point of view and my pursuit of truth, I've come across a lot of this guy's work, and it's played a fundamental role in me coming to terms with the fact that I really have had to question what I've been taught about where I live, and I've had to reanalyze a lot of things that I just took as a given. Cognitive dissonance set in, and I had to really kind of go back. I told you, I'm scrolling for nights, nights and nights, going, no, it can't be. No, they haven't done me. No, they haven't done that. No, they've done me.
Did the same for 3 years.
But for some people, Rick, and I rate them. For some people, 5 minutes and
that's
it.
Yep.
They only needed to be shown that in the first place, and within seconds they've gone, really? Right, you're having a laugh.
Because they hadn't bothered. They hadn't actually built up any. So they had no attachment to the model that had been. That everybody else is so attached to. Don't let go of my ball.
Take it away from me. Onwards. Here we go again. Hello, my lovely. Shout out to all of you in the chat room. There is the email. We
write reality. We write reality 33. Right.
I like that.
So I started it off as rewrite reality because we're going to rewrite reality.
Yeah.
But then Nia said to me, "Oh yeah, but it's we write reality." And I said, "Do you know what, mate? It fucking is as well. We write, rewrite. We write, rewrite. We write, rewrite." Say it quickly 5 times.
We write. This is like seashells.
Yeah, exactly. Seashells.
I love that.
Seashells.
M's world.
She sells seashells on the seashore.
Yeah. See the connectivity that's going on here in the chat room. Love it. I love it when people connect. Brilliant. Shout out to you, Em.
People definitely should go and check out M's Mad World and her Spotify podcast, Gigi's Rants. Particularly if you like rants, you know, if you like somebody that is not afraid to say what's on her mind and how she's feeling about it.
Rich,
and she's very genuine. Go on.
If you're all right with it, in a minute, after we've said what we're going to say here, can I select a track to play just to see if it works all on my end? Because so far, I've happy days. I'm not even going to say anything. Happy days. But yeah, if you say something, go for it.
And do you want? I mean, how do you feel if while we do that, we pop an invite in the chat room, and like if Em wants to come on, or Sarah if she's got a circle, you know, anyone wants to come on. Hey Dagon, how you doing, man?
Yeah,
Dagon Morningstar.
Lovely.
We got 39 people in here, Rox.
I love that.
Isn't it funny how it goes? It's like impromptu live. Boom. We've got more viewers than we have normally.
Impromptu, very much so. But a prelim to a very big live in our lives later on when we're talking to Bart and John. So we want everything to be as, you know, clean and concise as it can be. So I'm going to pop a little 5-minute thing on for you now, and actually a couple of tracks. Go on, Rich.
Well, we're just gonna say, right, I think it's important because this is also for the viewers' benefit, right? Because people might think that we're going crazy or we're, you know, targeted, whatever. Shut up, it's just shit internet, whatever. You can see that our internet is actually extremely good. Yeah, there's no problem with the internet. There's never really any problem with the internet. And this stream is testament to this is actually what it's like. Like, unless we're trying to discuss anything important, as soon as we try and discuss anything important, then we get grabbled in personal conversations. And then if we were doing this. We were using StreamYard to talk instead of Skype or anything. We were chatting. And it's like, wow, this is so cool. Should we see if it's like this when we go live? So we've gone live, and this is what it's like. It's nice and crystal, no glitching. Let's see what it's like tonight, shall we?
Yeah.
Because it should be like this. There's no reason. I'm hardwired into a fiber optic Ethernet. You're not hardwired in, but you've got good Wi-Fi and you've got good internet where you are. So be interested to see. But anyway, sorry, go on, let's play that tune.
No worries, let's take it away.
Oh, and sorry, Jeremy, dude, I can see you there, mate. Sorry, I'll just bring him in quickly.
Yeah,
Jeremy,
I'll be waiting in the background.
Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. We're just going to play this track, so won't be able to say anything. But yeah, it's only like, it's not long. It's only like 4 minutes or something.
Coolio, let's take it away.
barriers, the taller I become. The farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong.
Can't I hear you in the background?
Make it. No, you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no.
Come on, let's hear
Something
you.
inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong.
I hope you're all singing along, man.
The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho, the lies will come tumbling. Deny my place and time, you squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you. 'Cause there's something inside so strong, so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no. There's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Brothers and sisters, when they insist we're just not good enough, but we know better, just look them in the eyes and say, we're gonna do it anyway. Gonna do it anyway. Something inside so strong. And I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no. There's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong.
I think I think it was that video that got us stopped on Facebook last time. I think,
Soz.
but I think we're doing okay right now. I love that song. Do you know, I always get a little bit when it's the second verse and you hear the women in the background. When you hear the women coming in the background and just the emotion of that always almost brings me to tears. You know, it's like, oh man, because like you just want to sing. It's like a natural. I want to naturally sing along with it, and it's done in the song, and it's like, wow. I don't know if that comes naturally or if it's coming from, you know, from the source.
From the source, yeah. I get what you're saying. I get it. I feel it. You know, it's like some songs, they make the hairs on your arm. I don't know if I'm describing this right, but for me, some songs like that, they really get all the hairs on your arm. Yeah. That's one of them. And I find myself welling up, whether I like it or not. I could be in any mood and you can hear it. But this is where the frequencies, I think, are really important, and the hertz and the sound. Like you see how water reacts to sound resonant. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but you see has a different effect on people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a great believer in that.
Jeremy, dude, how you doing, brother?
Oh, and that's good, brother. Just getting something to
Have
eat
you
here.
have you had the pleasure of meeting the beautiful Roxanne yet?
I believe I did not. I've think I heard her from one of the previous streams you did, but
But you've not actually been on a live with her yet, have you?
no.
So,
Okay, it's
so
nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
please allow me to introduce you. Roxanne, this is Jeremy. He's doing some really, really solid research into
Cool.
Bible study. He's a very devout Christian,
Yeah.
and he absolutely he's been super critical of the Bible, of everything that's been written, to try, because everybody's coming against it, and it's been so vilified now, and he really wants to be able to show how the Bible is the truth, how it is the Word of God, and it is the truth. And he's done some really, really solid research into that. So yeah, he knows his scripture. This man knows his scripture.
I can respect that. Okay, can I?
No,
I mean, not that I mean to go on, carry on.
Well, not as good as I should, but only a certain amount.
Dude, better than we do. Way better than we do. I can tell you that. You're like the God. You know, you're like the priest in the chapel compared to us. You've read some script. You know, actually read through your scripture. Like, you know, the last discussion that we were having. I proved that I've not actually read the Bible, not from front to back, because there's things in the Bible that I don't know about, but you do. So
I've only known so much to read. As far as I know, is I don't want to be like the Pharisees that Jesus had called out, that were so haughty and arrogant, you know.
Exactly.
But, you know, they had the knowledge of the scriptures, but they did not have the faith. Yeah. That's what the Lord was so quick to call.
May I ask what made you go down that road of being really kind of, can I say, fanatical about it? Is it I mean, not
that's no. I'd rather be fanatical about it, actually. But with that, not without reason. Because without reason, you know, you might as well just be like the rest of the world, you know. You have no reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Ever since I was introduced to being saved when I was practically 5. And that kind of just, you know, pushed me in that direction. And I later just, you know, I used to go to a lot of churches and buildings and all that, and, you know, trips, Sunday school and whatever, but, you know, all that entails. But when I started like reading into the actual Bibles that they had, I started going across, like, throughout my, you know, my life, that, you know, why are there so many translations of the Bible? Like, why are there many different
versions? Yeah, it's not just the translations, it's the versions. The New English, the King James, the only Bible that I have is the Jehovah's Witness, their New Testament. I forget what it's called. I've got it here somewhere, but
the thing
I kept it because I wanted to have at least one Bible, you know.
Oh, well, yeah, that's the whole idea. I mean, you know, I don't know. I totally agree with you on it. And the thing is, why are there so many translations and versions? And when I started reading all these different translation versions, each translation and each version has a contradiction in itself somewhere. And if the Bible is supposed to be the inerrant word of God, where there's no error, why is there then a contradiction? So that should prove to you right there that doesn't work, and there's a change in that.
So you hopefully you see why I say that the Word of God is actually that's something that's written on our hearts. That's why it can't be changed.
Yes, even Jesus says that. You know, that's why it is.
And we are the living Word of God. We're like, God spoke us into creation.
Yes,
didn't he? So we are the living Word of God.
Word of God. Yes, that's what I believe so far. And like I said, there's always something new to, you know, look into, and that's what I'm currently doing. and just trying to contrast and compare things.
Are you
So,
still looking at the Apocrypha?
just a bit. To be honest, I think there's different modes of different apocrypha versions of the apocrypha as well. Let's put it that way. So it kind of begs the question, like, is there really books that have been taken out too? So I just don't say that I'm a King James only activist, AV 1611, which I am, but I want to know if they make sure that there was no books, that were hidden out or taken out,
Yeah.
and if those books don't also contradict the other 66, original canon. So but that's all Bible study, and that's something that I feel people should be supposed to be doing in their time, and when they if they feel up to it or make time for it, whichever the Father helps you out in that direction.
So do you know something interesting? I think it's interesting. Roxanne because Roxanne is out on the road all the time, and I forget when it was when you were approached by Graham. When was that?
Oh, the Graham guy?
No, Graham.
Oh,
Rox.
yeah.
When did Graham approach you, Rox?
Couple of years now. Couple of years back.
Couple of years ago.
Shout out to Graham, by the way. Massive shout out to Graham. Big love to Graham. If you're watching, shout out to you.
Do you know? I think right. I've just made this connection, but now I'm thinking, no, is that you might be getting this wrong, Rich, but
no, go
guess
ahead.
Guess what the name of the guy, the Jehovah's Witness guy that came when I prayed to God, and then the Jehovah's Witness came to my door.
Yeah.
Guess what his name was?
Don't say Graham. No.
Yeah. His name was Graham. So, but Graham approached Roxanne, and the thing is, it was like we made the assumption that he'd actually come from the church, didn't we? And that he was actually a vicar or something, or a vicar or a priest of some sort. But he's just very spiritually led, right? But
Amazing,
I think the important thing out of it is where it's just where it felt like it was coming from, where Graham felt like he was coming from. It's all that's the, like, whatever people's differences are about the Bibles, about religions, about honestly, because when you look into Islam and when you look into Judaism, you look at the fundamental rules of Judaism, the law of Judaism, and it is Christianity. Like, it is basically just Christianity. It's be good to one another and love thy neighbor. Basically,
well, like you said, they twisted the original message of what the Son of the Father had instilled, and what the Father had instilled. The evil has perversed it.
Obviously, it's the control. Those that wanted to take control of the situation that infected and infiltrated and corrupted and coerced the people of good heart that were trying to spread the word of God, basically. But it's brilliant that you've joined, Jay, because earlier I was watching, and I spoke to Roxanne. I said to Roxanne about it. I was watching. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get it up. That'll be the easiest thing. Hang on. Bear with me one second.
Also, go ahead while you're looking it up. I've been also studying the physics of biophotons and different modalities of phase transitions. So that means, like, with the frequencies and the bodies and the resonance. Well, there are different resonance wave packets per se.
Right.
So these discrete values of different resonances.
Let me just say quickly, just for people, for the benefit of those listening or watching. Not only is Jeremy a bit of a whiz when it comes to the scriptures and Bible study and stuff, he's a bit of a scientist as well. Sorry, carry on. Carry
No,
on.
no, I'm trying to get there. I mean, all I'm doing is just learning from videos and reading the textbooks and stuff. So I'm just repeating what others have researched. But I am trying to work on a project. So, but yeah, like I said, I've been studying the resonance of the human body basically, and just trying to get past the discrete what they call discrete wave packets. So like the body has these different resonances that are out of sync, and they call them discrete wave packets. So that way they can the crest, the hills in a sine wave. So they call those the crests and the troughs, and they're trying to align those correctly. And since like they're all out of misaligned, and they're like out of sync, they are able to like take partition them in discrete chunks, and then they'll call those wave packets. So that's like a bit of science terminology there, but learning how to coerce those together effectively, basically fixing your timing of your resonance. Well, a lot of things start working better. As far as your thinking, the way you view things, the way you feel, the way your body produces necessary combinations of chemistry and stuff. And how like
and so if you drink either structured or distilled or structured water, then that's gonna have a massive effect as well, right?
Tremendous effect. Actually, that would cure a lot of diseases that you would have, or any previous organs that are not functioning correctly. Oh, yes, most definitely.
Quick disclaimer, we are not by any means giving any medical advice to anybody.
No.
Neither of us are medically trained. In fact, probably you shouldn't believe anything that we say at all, and go and research
it's coded
yourself.
for entertainment purposes only. So.
Yeah. Always research. Always do. In fact, on that note, we've got a banner for that.
Yes. She's brilliant.
We appreciate your time and attention. Remember that your own perception is what truly matters. Always do your own research. Perception is your key to your reality. Sorry, mate.
No.
Rox is just. I don't know what. I think she's just lost connection. She'll be right back.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure. But structured. Go ahead,
dude. What I wanted to ask is, because I was watching this earlier, right? And this guy, his name is David Ewing Jr. Press 1 in the chat. Excuse me. Press 1 in the chat room if you've heard of David Ewing Jr. This chap here, right? Press 1 if you've heard of him. Please. We'll just wait for a second. See how many people have heard of him. I'd never heard of him until today. Have you heard of him, Joe? Jeremy?
Oh, yes. No, I've been reading. I've never heard of him personally, brother. I've been reading the chat here while listening. But yeah, no, I never heard of him. Honestly, interesting. Common cannibals. So, like, is he's talking about? The cells are metabolizing themselves, or other cells are eating off of other cells.
I haven't finished watching this. I'm only about an hour through, so we haven't got to the cannibals bit yet, right?
Oh, that's very interesting. That you mind if I interject something?
Yeah,
that is definitely would reveal. Well, considering the source and everything, I mean, that would give bits and pieces into what the controllers, how they act on things. Yeah, definitely something that's kind of pay attention to.
I mean, cannibalism is something that I would never personally dream of.
No.
They want us to think about. How many films have they made where they're it's cannibalism? It's all about cannibalism. and all of the scares to keep people away from places. Like my idea is that they, or that, you know, I think they did it to keep people away. So like, yeah, you don't ever want to go and try and discover these islands because they're full of cannibals that all the tribes people will just eat you.
Yeah.
There is
Well,
cannibalism that takes place. I know that those
yeah,
Indians,
yeah,
they do it. I can't remember what they're called, but they do it. And they do it to gain knowledge and power and stuff, but they don't kill anybody. What they do is they take bits of the dead, like because everybody gets burned at that river, don't they? They all get taken to that place and burned at the river,
yeah,
and so they go and, like, some of the people get floated out and
yeah,
they don't burn, and they end up on the shoreline on the other side, and these guys go and scavenge the bodies and do their thing from that. You know, it's pretty gross, but
yeah.
you can understand how they've made us believe that it's something that we could or should do, because
Yeah,
they've made it like, if let's just say, for argument's sake, just for argument's sake, that we're not really supposed to eat meat. Like, they got us to eat meat. It's just the next bit to get us to eat each other. And they eat each other, so they can't understand why we don't eat each other. They're desperate for everybody to start eating each other. And they're manufacturing a famine because people are programmed
no doubt.
enough. They're programmed enough. There are people that are so deeply programmed that they think, "Oh my God, if I don't eat, I'm going to die. So I need to eat something, and it has to be meat. And the only meat around is old Ted 2 doors down. He must weigh about 120 kilos, you know."
Yeah. No, in the Bible, actually, the Lord specific prohibit. It's a sin to actually, and in the scriptures, that it's a sin actually to consume other, cannibalism, basically.
Yeah.
So,
So
that's
it's
in the
not actually the cannibalism bit that I wanted
Oh yeah,
to
no.
talk to you about. What I wanted to talk to you about was one of the things.
So now that you mentioned Egypt and these high priests, yes. Now the thing is, you in the book The Matrix, I've shown more information to show that Egypt was at the same time during the Middle Ages. Now, what many people don't know is that in many churches, for example, Holy Trinity Church, Roswell, Northamptonshire, in the basement, there's thousands of skulls and bones. In Capela de Ossos in Portugal, in the church is decorated with skulls and bones.
I've been to there's more than one chapel. They're called the bone chapels, and they are basically chapels made out of bones, and a lot of the bones are from children. The skulls are children's skulls and
Yeah,
children's bones, but it's
I've heard of
mostly
those.
femurs. It's mostly femurs. That's what it's all made out of: femurs and skulls. It's not skeletons. It's just thigh bones and skulls. But so this guy, right?
Yeah,
He pointed out something very it's it's true. The letter J didn't exist until the 15 or 1600s. Before the letter J existed, Jesus was actually called Isu, and um that's sort of corroborated by the fact that the Jesuits, their name in Latin or whatever it
yeah,
is it that Isu. They call it's Isu. It's not Jesus. It's Isu, and it makes sense because J didn't exist. And I mean, the research that's been done kind of indicates that Isu existed 900 years ago, was here walking, doing his thing 900 years ago. not 2,000. And we're, you know, a lot of us in the truth community are saying, yeah, they've added 1,000 years. They've done something with the
You want to know
J and the
something?
I.
I'll tell you something about the time scale. It's
Mm.
according to the Father. It says in the Bible that a day to the Lord is 1,000 years is a day to the Lord, as a
Yeah.
day is 1,000 years to us. So it really, somebody was doing research on with that, just taking from the Bible alone,
Mm.
and he's saying that actually we are not even near 7,000 years. Like, time is not billions of years old or even 10,000
No.
years old.
Well,
No, he's actually saying that we're only as close to at least 6,000 years in, of all creation.
I
So
mean, if you do it by the Bible, the way the Bible calculates it, we are 6,000 years, around 6,000 years.
near
So
that, yes.
to say from the, well, rather than to say from the Bible, from the scriptures.
Yeah.
But one thing we can all agree on, we can absolutely all agree on, we don't fucking know. We don't know. It
That's
makes
true.
the only thing that makes sense is ridiculous compared to the official narrative. Like, to say, all we know is that the official narrative that they've given us is
Yes.
absolute codswallop, and there's something else going on, and the reason that they've changed our perception of what's happening is because in some way it removes power from us to be able to,
Yes.
it removes our free will. This is what I think, this
And
is what the whole trick is. They've
and I
removed
wanted to add
everybody's
about
free
that
will.
power. Yeah, I wanted to add to that soon. But keep going. I want to get a. I'm still listening.
No,
So,
go ahead, go ahead.
well, we have uh, we have abilities, that's suppressed by I think the EM spectrum. In some way, we're like being saturated to where our resonances are getting so messed up, and
Yeah.
that causes the aging factor.
Like if you were to, if you had an electrical circuit board with microelectronics, what you don't want to do is come and bring a big freaking battery near it.
Yeah.
So it's like, essentially, it's like on those, it's that, isn't it? We are batteries, but we're also incredibly complicated circuit boards.
Yes.
And what they're doing is they're messing with those frequencies, the electromagnetic waves that are going around us, so that it is interrupting our connection to each other, to the earth that we live on,
Yeah.
and most importantly, to God.
I think so. I believe that, yes, in a way, that it is interfering with the connection. It doesn't completely. There's nothing that can separate you from the Father, but there are things that can try to dampen and distort your view. And like I said, what's a good example? I guess I can give in a science perspective. During one of these studies, when they were doing a brain analysis on one of the cortex parts of the brain that's required for mathematical calculations, they said that one person was attached to a magnetic resonance imaging device, and it was
Right.
just a simple EEG, electro. Well, in EEG, I forget the middle EE number, but I know it's electrograph, but electroencephalograph. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, anyways, the person stared at the math equation, and before they can even like attempt to even solve it, they started getting a bunch of activity in these two parts of the brain that were these weird two cortexes, and they took the wave pattern that they got and they reorganized it into data like where a hologram, where you can take the nodes and the anti-nodes and you do the data, from that, and the hologram gives you the data image of the wave pattern. and they found out that they converted the wave pattern to text, using binary to ASCII type coding. So anyways, so it was readable, and what they saw was these weird solutions, possible solutions anyway, to the math equation that were somehow related, but yet some of them were wrong, and it's weird because the guy did not even stare at it like for a few seconds. So how in the world is that even so? And what I'm trying to say is that maybe we already know the answers to stuff, but yet they have yet to come to us due to some time delay. And that would tie into the factor of that maybe you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but you know what stuck out to me while you were saying that? The thing that kind of the word nodes, right?
Yeah.
Nodes stuck out to me. I know what nodes are. Nodes are the points, right? All the different points that make and then and so if you're doing an animation, if you're trying to animate somebody a physical body, they put that's the nodes that they put on, isn't it, when they draw the points?
Yeah, that's called what the nodes are. They're able to, that's how they make the holograms,
Right. So I was talking to Roxanne about this, about when I put my back, or it's either Roxanne or Sarah, I can't remember both of them, but when I put my back out and I went to go and see the osteopath, and he did a bunch of manipulations and cracked me a couple of times, and then
that's
he worked
good for you, by the way.
Oh no, I know, mate. And then he worked the nodules in my buttocks, right? And it's it's painful, but it tickles, and it's like it's really unbelievable when they do that, man. But like when he finished, I went from being a 70-year-old man that couldn't stand up straight to a bit feeling like normal again. It was like, wow, oh my God, you've just done magic. But it's the nodules, right? The nodules are these nerve points, these nerve clusters in your body, and we've got nodules all over, all over the body, right? We've got nodules all over the body. So think about it. People thinking about this world as a hologram.
Yeah.
We are just holograms. We're physical, yes. We're physical holograms with physical nodules that it's all based around. But that doesn't mean that it's a scientist in a laboratory on a computer that's done it. What it means is we can't actually grasp what it means. We're trying to grasp what it means by recreating that ourselves in this material realm.
Exactly.
Where all we can work with is materials.
Yes. Well, there's been I can reference a lot to this, that we are how we can we can create our reality within the true laws of creation, not the imposed laws. Okay, well, that we know answers before they possibly happen, and the math thing was a proof. There's a guy named Kent Shoulders who basically was studying something called soliton waves, which is like basically you take the two different waves that are out of phase, and like when you're generating a signal, and then you basically take the difference between those two. Like say you have two different waves. So like say you have wave number 25 and wave number 36. You subtract that, and the difference between those two waves, the result you get by subtracting that answer, you pump that frequency value in, and that will make a soliton wave. So it'll even out the two opposing waves, signals, basically, whichever way. So wave is signal, signal is wave. So, so what I'm getting at is, by using that physics, he said that the matter, when he was testing the metals on like the near the nanoscale, so it's not at the nanoscale, maybe like the micrometer. I have to tell you about the measurements or whatever. Like you can look it up, but I have to relook at it. But anyways, so very small at the near the atomic level or close somewhere, but like electron microscope range, he started seeing these weird rotating like spiraling spinning tops, you know. So it's like this weird spindles, like picture a spindle like a DNA spiral, but
Like
you know,
dreidels.
dreidels, yeah.
Dreidel. Yeah.
Dreidels, yeah, dreidels. Oh, that's another key connection to something, man. Oh snap. Okay, so these weird energy glowing light dreidels were spinning very small, spinning all over the place. And they were like changing the matter, like he saw and the different parts of the metal block he had, you know, that he's very small, and it started like phasing and fusing in these different alloys and new elements and stuff. So basically he's saying that if you get the phase enough to time correctly to whatever potential range you want to, you know, like say the signal oscillating range you want to get to, like the final range at least, to get to that point, you know, the closer to the max resonance or whatever of that signal input you want it to be, you know, the alloy will literally transform to, you know, to that. We're basically talking about transmutation. And that alloy will, I'm tying this into what we're previously, you know, so I'm getting there. So that alloy would transmute into that object, you know, to that resonance. So that's called phase shift.
Right.
And it's almost like magic, basically, but it's not magic. I mean, that's probably how magic works. But so, anyways, what I'm trying to say is that through the EM spectrum, he said that if you do metal like that, phase shift it so much past gold or whatever, you know, past certain, it will literally turn, like if it gets near the gamma range, like it starts getting really high up there, and it's, you know, it's phased correctly, you know, no non-linearities, like no misalignment, a little bit, it will literally turn transparent. The metal, you'll be able to start seeing through it, like it's fading out.
Right.
That's a
Yeah.
big key factor.
It was you. You were talking about this last time, weren't you? We
Yeah.
touched on this last time, right? Because as soon as you started saying that, I thought I've heard this before. But then, yeah, it's because we've spoken about it before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh damn it! There was something I was
okay,
going to
okay.
say.
Well, let me tie it in though. So since it's become a transparent, it's basically turning into pure energy, and it's literally becoming light, I think. So that proves that we are more than just we're just matter that's been made more dense.
I was saying this to, oh god, I don't know. Probably everybody is, but I've probably said it on a live that we are like we're light beings. So
Yeah,
maybe
in some
this
way.
physical, the way we are physically, it's light in its densest form.
I would think
Basically.
so.
Like,
Yeah.
here's Roxanne. Yes, she's back. She's back.
Well, I mean, I just want to see if this interests you, Richie. And
Yo.
like I said, if you can fix your resonances, you theoretically will turn back into energy, you know, basically, and light. That's what the study with the biophotons was kind of neat. That's what the DNA contains. It's like you have your DNA structure, you dinucleate, I forget the whole word, but and then you have what's in there called the tubulin, which is what makes up the DNA structure, and then they said the microtubules, which is like, you know, microtubulin, you know, so it's what makes up the tubulin, but it's, you know, it's micro, and it's basically a material that's small enough that it's linked with, you know, it's linked. If you could see that, you know, you get it. It's linked. Is smaller than the wavelength of of light, so it's able to actually grip the light. That's what you call metamaterials, you know. So, you know, it's able to wrap the light itself, literally touch it, you know, do all kinds of weird stuff. So it basically captures the light, and that's what keeps your, you know, basically to me, your body alive, you know. as far as, and that's yeah, I mean that's what keeps your body alive is the light.
So
And then
you know what you were saying about these little energy spinning tops, right? It
yeah,
made me
yeah,
think, and I was yeah, like a dreidel. We said dreidel. It made
yeah,
me think of me and Sarah have been talking about how when you look up at the blue sky,
yeah,
um, me when I look up at the blue sky, all I can see is these. It's like energy particles swimming,
yeah,
and they could almost be like little sperms. But when I said, when I associated dreidel with the little spinning top of energy that you were talking about, like, you know,
yeah,
you can't
yeah,
see it, it's a little spinning top of energy. And then I thought the way these things move, they move incredibly fast. They're just like
yeah, yeah.
like
That's
this.
the
But the way they move, they could absolutely be little spinning top. You know, it's like I can't. They're so small, I can't focus on them. But if I was able to zoom in and focus on them, that might be what they are. It's little tiny spinning tops, and that's why their movement is so unpredictable. Because
yeah, and they there's been hints of them in bigger size when you heard of those stories of, I don't know if this is related, if they are the same, but you heard of those stories of the cones and rods, right? That supposedly people have saw flying in different parts of the world. I think you heard of that, right?
say again that I've heard of cones and rods that they used for there's supposed to be this these cones and rods that they used for lifting stuff,
Levitation.
yeah, for levitation, that
Oh no,
they
that's
and they
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
speculated.
Well, the cones and rods are basically when they levitate. I'm adding to that is just antenna receivers. So you're just strengthening your resonance connection. You're
Mm,
basically telekinesis. You know, you're strengthening your your resonance to the resonance of the structure, and then you have to
mm.
grip your resonance, infuse it with the
which
resonance
it
of the object.
which is all completely in line with what we were looking at yesterday with Sarah. We're looking at last night.
Yeah,
The guy, you know, the monk guy that was smashing the
yeah,
bloody
yeah.
stick
Yeah.
on his head. That was all about getting his, you know.
Resonance intact. He was basically solidifying his skin. As this is just theoretical guessing, but he's solidifying his skin to be more uh, smaller and compact in wavelength, like the fibres and stuff, to get more smaller than the fibres of the wood material, thus
Mm.
making him more literally more harder than the wood. And
I,
that's like,
and
go ahead.
like like sort of at the
It's
same
compacting,
time,
yeah.
at the same time, in his perception, that's not what he's doing. In his perception, he's
Yeah,
just harmonizing the energy flow
yeah.
around his body, and
That's a
he's got
very
the energy
important
flow
part.
going around, and
The
that as
perception is a very
a,
important part.
so a direct result of that is that the you know, not only is it confusing the nerves or whatever, or not confusing them, but switching them off or whatever, but it's, yeah,
Yeah,
it's just changing the material structure
of the body.
of, yeah, of the body, of everything. Sorry, Rox, are you all right, babe? I'm sorry, you come in twice now and haven't managed to get a word
No,
I'm
in
all
sorry,
right.
edgeways. I'm
Roxanne.
going to shut.
And
Shall we just let
No,
Roxanne
you
just
carry
say
on. No, carry on. Because in the background, I'm just making sure that my connection's solid. I'm doing a lot of things in the background, making sure that I'm
it's
prepared
all
for later on
good,
as well.
babe.
So, no, carry
It's
on.
all good. It's all
Yeah, it's all
good.
good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Um,
okay. And but yeah, no. So basically, yeah, the cones and the rods. You basically that you're attaching your resonance to fuse with the like like infusing your resonance with the resonance of the object. So you're coupling your waves with its waves in a way from
I,
whichever.
I think the cones have got to have something to do with spiral, the
Yeah, they
toroidal
call it
spiral.
they call it the torsion. So like the ways, like somebody said that when you change the polarity of a magnet, and polarity is basically the
North and
when that
south, which direction the north and south is,
yeah,
basically, isn't it?
exactly,
It's
yeah,
the
and that's how you measure the sine waves. Is that the oh she left the polarity basically you're turning the nodes the up and down start spinning, so and that's what creates your get it. So it's like it's 180 degrees in a circle. So you can picture a circle. You have your north pole, your south pole, and then once it starts spinning, then the north pole is going to dip into the bottom, and the south pole is going to go up, and then so that's the motion, the hertz rate, your oscillation rate. So yeah, but by changing the polarity of the item or the magnet, oh no, it's my train of thought.
oh, dude,
Darn it,
dude,
bro.
I hate that. That happens to
Yeah.
me so often as well. That happens to me so often.
Well,
Listen, well,
you're just exercising your brain. That's good though, because you need to
yeah,
do that so you don't
and the
lose.
thing is, right, honestly, I think there's a little bit of everything in it. It's like we've got so many thoughts that we're trying to organize, that are trying to get into the forefront of our mind to get spoken. We've got so many
Yeah.
things that we're trying to remember, that we've learned, that might be relevant to what we're talking about. But then
Okay.
there's also
Yeah.
whatever cheeky monkeys there might be that are just having a laugh, and they're just like, beep, oh look, brain fart, you can't remember anything now.
Yeah. Well, they're not wanting to listen, or they're just
And there's
uninterested.
also when our attention, like, glance at the chat room, just to have a little glance through, just to see what people are chatting about. Like, is anybody saying, oh God, right, okay, yeah, and you just that little fraction of a second diversion of attention, and you flick back and,
Oh,
shit,
now I
what was I talking
remember.
about?
Yeah, now I remember. Now, okay. Thanks. See, and it's
Oh,
weird. It takes to
dude,
come
that's
back.
perfect. That's
That's
what I
weird.
wanted
It
to
takes it. So
happen.
like, it's like you have to like step back a bit and then come back. It's like that. I still remember. So by the way,
Hey,
so it's like take two
I'm
steps
good,
forward
man.
and take one step back. Like, or it's like you take two steps forward, take one step back, and then
Yeah,
you go maybe like go three steps again or more. So
yeah.
it's like that. So anyways, okay, so you have your magnet and it's North Pole and South Pole, and then it rotates. So that's modeling the wave, going the North Pole and South Pole going up and down. So and if you picture a circle, and in the middles you picture a line right smack dab in the middle of it, that is a 180-degree line, or yeah, it's a 180-degree line. So we're thinking in terms of degrees. And
Yeah.
if you wanted to partition that circle more, like to say 3 different zones, it would be 120. So you're subtracting 60 degrees from 180. So now it's 120 degrees, and there are 3 zones of 120 degrees. So I'm just saying that you can partition the circle in different degrees, and then that's your different control schemes for the oscillation. But don't buy into that too much. But I'm just giving you like a bit of how LC circuits. Hold on, LC circuits. All right. Okay. LC circuits, and so basically, we're just going to picture the 180-degree one, right? So it's just 2 zones, North Pole and South Pole. So what I'm trying to say is that when it starts rotating, the North Pole and South Pole is doing it on a, like the energy is, just going left to right. But for some reason, they said that when you can, if you spin the item, that the magnet or anything, they say that they're able to see the electromagnetic field radiating from it starts to actually go into a torsion. So
right.
when you're talking about the spindle spinning packets of energy, the energy, that's what's happening when you see this. What you mentioned about the spinning,
Yeah.
that the radiation field is actually spinning.
Right.
So you can make it spin. And they said that when you do
So-
that, for some reason, no, I'm about to add. For some reason, when you spin it, it actually increases the flow and performance of the oscillation rate higher for some reason. For some reason when you spin it.
But we're talking about so we're talking about a field outside of. Because
We're talking about
what I'm
your
trying
field.
to visualize. My
Okay.
right, okay, my field, right. So the field
Yeah.
outside of me is spinning and oscillating. The like my aura,
Yeah.
basically. I mean that kind. So when I meditate, my meditation, when I want to align my chakras, my meditation is each one of my chakras, starting at the base.
The
The
reason
base.
why your chakras, or whichever part of energy, they call it interlock states. Some state. This will help you. This will back up your claim. Some resonance parts of the states are blocked or
Yeah,
locked.
no,
They're
just
stagnant.
all I'm trying to say is
Oh, go ahead.
is to align my chakras and have them all activated and basically you get them spinning. That's the whole point, is you get them spinning. So you start at the base, you go anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise up to the top, right? So they're spinning all alternately, anti-clockwise and clockwise, right? And
Yeah,
then
you're
that
trying to harmonize. Yeah.
right.
Even
So
out.
but it's the spinning aspect, you know. Right, rather than I'm thinking about. So in one sense, I'm thinking about the my aura, the energy field outside of me that's spinning outside of me, right?
Well,
and then inside of me as well, I have the energy
can
fields
spin.
spinning inside of me.
It can spin, but I want to add something to that. That might not be as efficient as most people realize, because when you're spinning it, all you're actually doing. No, that's good. Spinning can be good. Like you're basically some waves are combining into others while some are canceling out. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You know, you're getting some powers in some area, more power, while you're getting degraded in some others. So it's kind of like rolling a dice.
For me, it's all about harmonizing each one, so that it's like you said. So it's bringing them into harmony with each other, so that so they're working together. Well, and nothing's blocked. No energy is becoming stagnant.
And that's
blocked
the thing,
anywhere.
because no, you're right about that, because torsion is basically, actually, all you're doing when you spin the magnet is basically you're just adding more frequencies to the already frequencies that was already present, oscillating left and right. So that you're not really improving it, you're just adding more frequencies without really knowing how to add them correctly when you spin it. But so what you can do is you just really need to learn how to harmonize, like you said, all the waves and crests correctly. So you can do that by applying a modulated spin, which the method that you're talking about, a method of implementation, how to do that. And that's why you said the perception of interlock, like your perception would be your modulation scheme for aligning all your resonances. Yes, that is what meditation is. Just trying to align your frequencies by your field. That's always been a big thing with the Qigong masters and stuff. And repeated training makes practice perfect and all that. And as far as like when you zone out, you take on a different feel and approach and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm spinning the views downward.
No. I think it's no. It's not. No. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. I just put it up because don't worry about it. listen.
Well, okay,
The,
okay, cool.
the views go up and down during every stream,
Okay.
and we've been going for an hour and 24 minutes. And some people,
Yeah,
there's
zone
other
out.
things.
Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock, so somebody else might have started a live. There's all kinds of reasons, all sorts of reasons for why people, they come back, man. And if we're still going in 2 hours' time, and they come back, they'll come in. And this isn't a competition,
No, no,
It's like
this is the advancement of our
our
being, We're
consciousness. This is
consciousness. We're trying to,
the
yeah, we're
yeah.
trying
This
to,
is
get out of here. I'm sorry.
the,
No, go ahead.
No, it's right. It's just going to say it's the evolution and expansion of our consciousness, man, so that we can actually become what we're meant to be, what it was always intended for us to be, and that was just to be
Yes,
us, be the
exactly.
best, be the
Be your
best
best self,
that you can, be the best that you can, be the best example of somebody that's got it together and is balanced and is patient, understanding, compassionate, able to empathize, and generous, and generous beyond measure to everybody, not just to selected few, to
No, no.
to this guy because he's my best mate. He's been my best mates at school, and you haven't. I don't know who you are, mate. You're just a stranger in it. So I'm going to give all my
It's like
shit to
you're
this guy here.
unimportant. You're
It's
unimportant.
it's about trying and help
Yeah.
doesn't have to mean financial, doesn't have to mean, there's all sorts of ways that we can help each other. Now, one of
Yeah.
the best ways is to listen,
Just listen. Yes.
to what the other person has to say. And while you're listening, remember that you will get your chance to say what you want to say. And the thing is, people need to be able to say what they're feeling without the fear of reprisal, without the fear of being ridiculed for it or attacked for it or victimized or vilified or defamed or cancelled or anything. We should all be able to say, this is where I am and this is how I feel. Regardless of how you lot feel, this is how I feel. And, this is why. And I feel like this, and this is my perception, this is my perspective, this is my reality. And everybody else should be able to go, wow, shit, man, wow.
See, all I'm
That's
trying to do is, if you don't mind, all I'm trying to do is just to get to the relay to people, that, and if it, our reality can be manipulatable by our own free conscious mind in whatever way we, can perceive it, and however you do that, even on a physical level, and by giving physical examples, changing to things that are literally immaterial in itself. I mean, I don't know how much you could ask for,
mm,
the
yeah.
possibilities of that are endless.
Just to also just to mention, because I didn't finish today with Grandmaster Mason. Yeah, Roxanne is having a bit of difficulty with her. Although the internet it's just, this is what happens, isn't it? When we try and go live, this is what happens. But she does. It also is also a bank holiday, and she's got she's got family over, and there's people come over to visit from abroad in the background and stuff. So I don't know. Whatever it is, there's something going on, and there's a good reason why she's not here, and she will be back as soon as she can. And if she doesn't make it before the end of the stream, I can tell you she will be absolutely bloody gutted. So we'll keep this stream going until she comes back. And like, well, actually, can't. Oh, crikey! No, we can't keep it going for that much longer, actually, because we've got Bart Sibro and John Hyams at 6 o'clock, which is in 52 minutes time. So, dude, Jeremy, if we can wrap up in at least like 20 minutes,
Actually,
if
we
we can
can.
finish, like, yeah, and but so. Yeah, this is why me and you get on. This is why, as a Christian, I don't think you're too
No,
you're
go
not
ahead.
you're not offended by what I say, like
No,
by some
no.
of the things that I say, and you haven't misunderstood what I've said. You're actually
Open.
you can see it. You're open to it. You can see it, and the thing is, I think what you're seeing is that I'm saying this, but what I'm saying is I'm not saying that we are gods, or as in God. Um, in that sense, what I'm saying is, as the creation of, as the creation, we are it's all of this. We are the creation, and
Yes.
and I think that we are meant to be the custodians of this creation, the gardeners, the
Yes.
builders, the
Actually, that's what the Lord had said when He made. He said, "You man is supposed to take care of the garden."
go
So
forth and multiply and live in abundance, and that's what we're
yes.
meant to be doing, because that's we actually live in abundance now. It's just there's a bunch of billionaires that are trying to hoard all of it for
Oh yeah.
themselves.
No, no. It's that
You know,
definitely.
we
Yeah,
live
yeah.
in abundance now. We are in an abundance of land. We have an abundance of land on this earth, the land that we are aware of, that we know of.
Where
There is
I
an
think we could be
absolute
more.
abundance of
I
it.
think we could have been more abundant than we are right now.
Oh,
But
mate, way more. I think there's more land that we don't know about. I think there's more land that they don't know about. They
oh,
think they know everything, but they
I'm
don't.
pretty sure they don't. They don't know. And that
I
goes in the
think
whole. Yeah.
I do think, we're talking about resonance, and this is something that
So
Campbell's
I'll tell
touched
you.
on.
Oh, go ahead.
That
I want to put a pin in that real quick. The Lord. There's a verse in I think it's Isaiah or Hebrews. I think it's Hebrews 8:3. Well, if you look in the Hebrews book, if you type like go into BibleHub.com or you put worlds, you'll see that the Bible mentions that there are many worlds
mm,
instead of just world.
yeah,
So that would give you a clue on something. So go
right.
ahead.
So
You said
Campbell
something about resonance.
and Kelly have been
Yeah.
talking about resonance, and they've talked about the possibility that there is some sort of crystal city that exists as here now in our reality, but
I wouldn't doubt it.
we're not resonating at the right frequency to be able to see it. And I
Yes,
think
that
that
makes
that's the
sense.
case with land. I think that there is land here, somewhere in this realm. There is land that we're at too much of a base level. We're down here, resonating
Yeah.
in this carnal level. Um, once we have evolved, consciously evolved, and our conscious has consciously evolved, and we're able to control our emotions, we're able to balance ourselves as living light beings here, living expressions of God, of the creator.
Yeah.
Once we've got control of all that, then we'll be allowed to see it. Then it'll
Yes,
be
you
like,
transition
right,
into it.
here you go. Now you're all vibrating at the right frequency.
No,
Voila.
it's all about at least from my perspective in scientific terms, and just underline that scientific. That's what I'm going by. We phase shift into that reality. So
Yes,
that's the
yeah.
transformation. So
So nothing actually has to be destroyed. This is the
no,
thing, right? With a phase shift, nothing actually has to be destroyed. There is a moment of confusion between the two. With a phase shift, there is this moment of confusion where it's both. But
yes,
you transition through that, and suddenly it's something else. It's like transition screens. When I'm making my videos, and I use the glitch transition. The
yes,
glitch transition thing, and it sort of glitches in between the two, and then suddenly it's another one. Nothing gets destroyed.
no,
Nothing got destroyed. Nobody got
no,
killed. We just went from one reality into another.
correct. Yes, and there's a lot of research that's being proven physically that might point to that.
Mm,
As far as like I said with the metal turning transparent and turning into light, and then they did the opposite direction. They took two energy, they call them energy packets, okay, whatever, two 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 quantities of, pure energy of light, and they fused them, and then they actually became a dense piece of matter, like a piece of metal
Mm.
or rock or whatever. So that
Yeah.
should tell you right there. I mean, yeah.
Um,
So,
and they've, they can create light from sound as
yes,
well. They've proven that through harmonics, passing harmonics through through
water.
water. They created like starlight, didn't they? It was like a
Yeah, they
star
did.
that they
Pure
created.
light. They
Yeah.
just combine the waves. That's called vacuum polarization. So it's like basically ether, controllability. So
Mm.
yeah, if you want
The th-
technical terms.
and right, is that done? That's done in a vacuum, is it?
It can be done anywhere. Like it's all. If you picture it like this, as vacuum means just one medium. So any like you can say the
The-
couch is the I'm just adding the couch is part of you, and the air is part of you, so you're connected. There's no
mm.
barriers. So if you just picture it like that, you're changing phase shift of everything next to you. The field is
Yeah.
only the boundary you stretch it at.
What
So
what I'm thinking about is with the like let's say with this creating the light, creating the star. When they did that, did they do that in a vacuum, or did they do that in
oh,
deionized
they used the glass. I'm about to tell you, they used a glass jar and they had water in it, and they just shot a frequency signal into it.
right?
That all Yeah, all they did was combine the waves correctly, and
Because what I was thinking was, I wonder what the, like, have they tried it in oxygen, in hydrogen, in in
yeah, well,
different.
the oxygen and the hydrogen vibrate at their own rates, so it'd be the same effect. It's just all it depends on. It's so simple. All it depends on how you combine the the crest, the waves together, the crests and the troughs. The crests are the up
Mm,
wave, and the trough is the down
yeah,
wave. It's about how you phase correct, time them correctly, that you'll get better effects, and those different materials will transform to a better state. As far as like, I guess the periodic table has a curve where each element is stacked on top of each other, and all of them are aligned, like a ladder. So the next one will turn into the next one, or the one will turn previously back down to the other one. If you modulate it, the signal, its vibration to go
mm,
lower, So you picture it like that. So yeah, these elements have been known to turn to higher gas, like actually turn into a gas. It's like, metal turns to liquid, and then liquid turns to gas, and yeah, those elements, they call it the abundance curve, something like that. So they're basically, you're changing the oscillation to where it will turn into the next element. So transmutation. So,
yeah,
but later, at the very end, at the top part of the whole curve, is where something will soon turn to light. So you're basically you're creating a signal, shooting a signal in the air, but you're basically vibrating the light, water, to turn into light. That's all you're doing. But you created such a near, like, underline that, a near, not exactly, but near perfect resonance of light, and the water instantly just turns to light.
it has to make you think though, like, because there are people that don't believe that stars are planets and suns, and that that space, outer space outside of this realm, is more of a fluid state, and
Yeah,
so
I
is that what
personally believe it's
stars
more of
are.
a yeah, I personally believe it's more
I
fluid state.
personally, I think it's a really heavy saline type
Yeah, no, I do. Even the
thing going
Bible,
on.
it says that there's a crystalline roof above there, molten glass, or like molten glass. I think it's molten
Mm.
glass, and that there are waters out there, and they
Well,
call it
he separates the waters from the waters, doesn't he?
the waters
So,
of yeah, and that's, I
and
never understood that.
I think that's on so many different levels, right? He
Yeah,
separates the waters from the waters. So there's the waters above and the waters below, and then the waters in between. And
yes,
in between, in the realm in between, what we've got is we've got water separated into so many different states. We've got it within ourselves. We've got it in the air.
Yes.
It's being carried in the plants. It's being carried in the ground.
Yes.
It's in
Yes.
it's in solid form. It's in liquid form, and it's in gas. It's in a gaseous form. And so he, like, the waters were literally separated from the waters. And you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah. And that's why it's like, what is waters in God's terms? That's a good question. You're spot on about that.
And for some reason, it just made, for some reason, because you went, what is waters? And I just suddenly thought of Waters on bloody Fox. You know that oh God.
It's really cool, man. Like, hey, we need to know what our Father is, to me, is instilled for us to get back to. He says, "Do not be lost. Come back to me," and then things will start making more sense. So but like I said, nobody has ever seen the Father except the Son, which is Jesus, or Ezu. I can't pronounce that.
Isu.
Isu.
Yeah.
By the Son, basically. So you have to go to the Son first. So you know how that is.
And please let me just remind.
Oh, go ahead. No,
everybody. No, just let me remind everybody. Anybody that's listening now or on a replay, please don't get triggered. Don't get triggered, because especially don't get triggered if you hear somebody talking about something that they personally feel and believe, and you don't. Like, if you hear somebody, because when you hear somebody talking and they're so certain about something, if you don't agree with it, just because you don't agree with it, what is a fact is they're certain about it. And each one of us, like I keep saying, none of us has got all the answers. We've all got a piece of the puzzle, and we're all meant to be getting together and having a good old, discussion about it. That's not triggered. It's not emotional. Nobody gets attacked for what they say. It's just basically, it's a big smorgasbord of information that we've got. And we've all got to chuck our bits in. Like I say, like tonight at 6 o'clock, in 39 minutes time, we're speaking to Bart Sibrel and John Hyams. John Hyams is a globe denier. Bart Sibrel is not. But Bart Sibrel knows that we never landed on the moon. So there's a common ground that we've got with Bart. It's going to be interesting to speak to him about his what his perception is. And we can, and then in contrast with John, obviously we agree with John. John agrees with us about the lies that we've been told about pretty much everything. But it's about everybody just talking about it, getting together and talking about it, and that's like the last thing that they want. It's the last thing they ever wanted, and it's the last thing they want, is for us to be able to sit down in a room together and talk about things calmly, with no emotional attachment. Nobody getting angry, nobody hurling insults, nobody being basically childish, because all that is, being unable to discuss things with people in an adult, civilized manner, is childish. And we're not children, are we? These people that are controlling us are giving basically their behavior is like 13-year-old children, spoiled 13-year-old children. Well, we're all going to be adults. We're all going to be adults about this, whilst maintaining a good connection to our childish spirit, our innocent childish spirit, because that's one of the things that Jesus said, or Isu said, is you have to be as children to enter the kingdom of heaven. So that's what he's talking about, is the innocence of children. Be innocent. Don't be a bad boy or bad girl. And we all know what that is. We all know what that is. We all know what would be frowned on by the person that we want to be perfect for. And we all need to really take responsibility and try. What's wrong with, it's like it was programmed into us that it's square. it's just square and stupid to try and be that good. Why would you want to try and be that good? Be a bad boy, be a bad girl, sleep around, do drugs, get drunk, rah. Don't be good and, you know, live your life in service to others and all of that sort of stuff. That's only what squares and dickheads do. That's been totally programmed into us since childhood. So we've got to remember that everything that they've programmed us, we've got to try and do the opposite. So yeah, I'm going to get off my soapbox. I do think it's time to wrap it up, dude. It's 5:24, and I want to get a couple of things done before I speak to Bart. And also, we need to give the people in the chat room a bit of time before, because otherwise it's been an hour and 45 minutes. We're only going to be an hour with Bart, just to let you know. It's only going to be an hour long. So yeah, it won't be going on all night. But dude, Jeremy, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up, mate? Anything you want to point anybody towards?
Oh yes. I was just getting some things done, but as far as anything, yes, I believe that we are meant for much more than what we're being presented, and just like I said, how many more minutes do we have left? About 4. So
that
how many more minutes do we have? About 10, 4 minutes.
how long do you need?
Oh, nothing. I'm just saying when you're about to transition to the next stream, I'm saying how much more.
Oh yeah, no, that's at 6 o'clock. So it is now 5:26. So in 34 minutes.
Oh, okay. No, I got time. No, I have plenty of time. See, it's 11:30 where I'm at. So.
Oh, cool. Right. Cool.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I got
So.
time.
All right, man. Well, ladies and gents, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to take the dogs out for a walk and get my shit together. So nice and comfortable. I'll be back with Roxanne at 6 o'clock with Bart Sibrel and John Hyams presenting their new game 7. I did actually, do you know what? Let me just do this now, right? So that you can all get prepared. Yeah. What you could do, what would be absolutely awesome if you could do. Oops.
Welcome
wrong
to the
one,
Game 7.
Sorry. What would be absolutely awesome if you could do is go and download this game, man. And it's available on iOS and Android. I'm going to put the link in the there we go. There's a link, right, to go and download the game to your phone, and then you'll know what we're talking about. And then also you'll be able to send me a friend request, right? 007, all one word. You'll be able to send me a friend request, and we'll be able to play each other at the game. And I really, really need some human people to play against, some friends to play against on this game, because this AI just keeps kicking my ass, man, and it's affecting my calm. It's affecting my calm, and I don't want to throw my phone at the bloody wall sometimes. But it is really, like I said, it's one of those games where you're just like,
hey, that's
play
brother,
again, man.
That's how you make a game fun. If you want to know, I used to play Street Fighter when I was in 2011, and out of all the games I played, that one just made me so mad. But I mean, and I even I actually wanted to punch something. I also never felt like that, but yet for some reason I kept coming back to it, and I kept practicing and practicing and practicing. You know how it goes, and then eventually you practice so much, you become very good after that, and you start winning.
Yeah.
So it actually becomes fun.
And there's also the whole law of averages thing as well. You know, you can only lose for so long. You got to win eventually. It can't
Yeah.
rain every day, as he says, and Brandon Lee says in The Crow. Anyway, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna end with a track, or with the quotes. We're gonna end with a video, but in the meantime, I know that Roxanne's going to be gutted that she's missed the end of it, but we will be back at 6 o'clock. I know she's got stuff to do, so she wanted to come back, but in the end, it got too late, and she's got stuff to do before 6 o'clock. So, and I know she's really looking forward to this interview. So, Jeremy, dude, thank you very much, mate. Always a pleasure, and we'll do it again soon. And ladies and gentlemen in the chat room, thank you very much for your time and attention. Hopefully you'll be back in half an hour to see us with Bart Sibrel. And if you can't make it, don't worry. It will be there on the replay. But we will leave you with... I don't know. What shall I play? Oh, it would just be a simple one. Just the quotes. See you later.